Quick and simple guide to beating Heian-kyo Act 10, Arrow 2. Substitute servant recommendations included. What you need: plug suit mystic code, level 6 or higher. An attacker who does multi-target damage. 2 buffing servants. 3 meat shields. Put the attacker and buffers in the front, meat shields in the back. On turn 1, buff your attacker. Feel free to use the Mystic Code attack buff, you will have it back thanks to this fight's accelerated master cooldowns. Then, switch your attacker with a meat shield in the back. Suzuka's natural saber bar means she gets her NP by turn 5. Stall until turn 5 while keeping your buffers alive through noble phantasms, craft essences, or taunts. Do not let the enemies use their noble phantasm until turn 5. When Touta reaches full, use the master stun to force him to wait for Suzuka. If Suzuka uses her charge skill, try to drain, seal, or stun her. The cooldowns don't work for you if they go early on turn 4. The meat shield positioned directly before your attacker should die on turn 5 so that you can attack on turn 6. On turn 6, your attacker will be back and should be able to smash through both break bars. Wait until turn 8, this is the turn that Suzuka and Touta will NP and your swap comes off cooldown. Most of the previous buffs should still have 1 turn left. Buff your attacker again and swap them with your last meat shield. You do not have to protect your buffers this time. On turn 9, your attacker should be able to clean up the fight. Understanding this boss battle. The optimal way of clearing this quest is to sync the enemy's timing while also making sure your attacker is buffed, charged, and ready to strike. The master's cooldowns are key here. Following this guide should give you the correct timings. The rest of this video is dedicated to suggesting substitutions that work for you. Choosing your buffers and protecting them. The ideal pair of buffers are any servants that charge your attacker's bar to 100%. Double Castoria is optimal. Double Scotty is next best. Castoria can work with any 50% charge support. Support Castoria and free redeem waiver is most accessible for budget. Double waiver or Inoue is probably too weak unless your attacker is S tier like Arjuna, Alter or Gilgamesh. Inoue is almost always better than waiver. Less than 50% charges like Merlin can work but requires extra work like battery skills or NP refund on the attacker and guarding for charge later. To prevent your supports from getting killed, you can use Castoria or Scotty NP. Alternatively, use a craft essence that gives evade or invulnerability, like Volume N or Parted Sea. To prevent these charges from being burned early, consider using a meat shield with taunt. Your supports should have enough health to tank 1 noble phantasm, but if you want to be safe, consider giving Castoria a craft essence that gives her overcharge. Choosing your first 2 meat shields. Your meat shield's main job is to draw aggro and then die at the correct time. The better meat shields can debuff but aren't required. Because you have to wait until the start of turn 6 to attack, these servants need to last 4 turns and die on the 5th. Try not to taunt for more than 4 turns. Because of the mechanics of taunt, Touta may skip over his Noble Phantasm turn if Suzuka kills the taunting servant with her Noble Phantasm. There are no skills, Noble Phantasms, or craft essences alone that can taunt for more than 3 turns, so it is more reliable to try to use 2 meat shields on the first break bar. Choosing the final meat shield. Highly flexible slot. If you don't need more damage, put anyone who will die. Do not taunt this servant. Choose a servant that can debuff if you need more damage. If you equip an invul or evade craft essence to this servant, they do not need to be a debuffer. In this way, you can get more battery and damage to an attacker if needed. Just make sure someone else dies. Choosing an attacker. Any attacker with a multi-target damaging NP can work. Try not to use disadvantaged classes like Saber, Lancer, or Alter Ego, but these can work with enough buffs and NP levels. The attacking servant does not have to be yours if you have adequate support servants. The ideal craft essence is Black Grail, followed by Heaven's Feel. Others like Art of Death, Art of Poisonous Snake, Poster Girl are the next step down. 50% charge craft essences are usable especially for buster servants, but less than ideal. Uts and Quick are the easiest to use as mentioned in the supports section. If you use Buster, you must guard for NP on turns 6 and 7 or put another battery support as the final party slot as mentioned in the meat shield section. Try to avoid using Berserker Musashi. Suzuka naturally syncs her charge bar with Taku after the break bar, but because Musashi NP seals only Saber enemies, she sabotages this strat by desyncing the two. This guide covers most of the common variations and substitutions. Just because it wasn't shown doesn't mean it won't work. Hope this helps.